how's everybody doing today? Today we're going to be talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and you can find what I'm going to be talking about in Daniel chapter 3. Now, this is about a king and three brave men. The king's name is Nebuchadnezzar, and the three men were known as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They lived in a place called Babylon, and the three men worked for the king. One day, the king decided to build a huge image made of gold that stood 90 feet high. King Nebuchadnezzar then made an announcement. O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image. Whoever does not obey and worship the statue will immediately be thrown into a fiery furnace. So the next time the music played, everyone stopped what they were doing, and they bowed down to worship this idol. Everyone, that is, except for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Some of the king's workers saw that these three men would not bow down to the image, so they immediately ran to tell the king. When King Nebuchadnezzar heard this news, he was very angry. He immediately ordered that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought to him to explain their actions. The men were brought before the king, and he said to them, "Is it true that you will not bow down and worship the image of gold that I have made? Just in case there was a mistake, I will give you another chance. When the music plays again, you will be ready to bow down to the image, and if you don't this time, you will be thrown into a fiery furnace. Then what God will be able to save you?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we did not make a mistake, nor will we apologize for not bowing down. If we are thrown into the furnace, the God we worship will save us, and he will rescue us. But even if he doesn't, we want you to know that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." Now that made Nebuchadnezzar even more mad. Right away he ordered the furnace to be heated way hotter than it usually was, and commanded some of his strongest soldiers to take Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the fire. The soldiers took the three men, just the way they were, straight to the furnace. The men were wearing all their clothes, including robes, their shirts and pants underneath that, and turbans on their heads. As the soldiers were pushing the men into the furnace, the flames of the fire killed the soldiers because the fire was so hot. Now Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. The king, Nebuchadnezzar, jumped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there only three men thrown into that fire?" They answered and said unto the king, "True, O king." He said, "Look, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God." Nebuchadnezzar then came as close as he could to the furnace and shouted in the doorway, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither." So the three men walked out of the furnace without any burns. No hairs on their head burned, all their clothes perfectly fine, and guess what? No smell of fire on them at all. In that moment, Nebuchadnezzar knew that they worshipped the real God. He said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angels and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God." So from that day on, the king made an announcement that all the people, nation, and language could not say anything bad about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's God, or they would be cut into pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. The king then gave the three men even better jobs than they already had before in the province of Babylon. I always thought that that was amazing, you know. He said the fourth man. God, Jesus was even with them then. It's just, he's always been there. He'll always be there. And it amazes me that he, you know, he protects. He's there. Like, I don't know, there's not words for it. I'm so thankful for his love and his mercy and everything he does for me and my family, and there aren't words. There will never be enough words to truly thank him for what he has done for me and my family. If you like this, please hit that like button. I'll be doing one of these videos on something out of the Bible every Tuesday. Subscribe if you'd like to come back and see it. Thanks. Y'all have a good day. Bye.